everybody, my name is Joey. Welcome to my channel. I got my Czech Beads exclusive box. These boxes ship directly from the Czech Republic and they are amazing. It's like getting a little present. This little box just makes me so happy when it comes in the mail, and this is the items in the box this month. And the team at Craftica was so sweet. They put a little special note in the box. There is a code on here that gives a special gift for subscribers to the box, and this month's box for September 2025 is called Fall Inspiration, and it is that. Oh my goodness, I'm going to go very quickly through the unboxing and just show you what's in here because I want to make a bracelet and earring set, and my intention is to have these pieces to layer with other things for the, this is like the beginning of the fall jewelry. So the box contents has 26 items in it, and the first two things are these matte olive, this one is matte olive and this one is matte emerald, these beautiful tulip flowers that are half vitriol. And then I love getting disc beads. These are crystal purple, green, yellow dichroic vitriol discs. They're 6 millimeter and they are amazing. You guys that have been here before, you know that I have an absolute love affair with discs. And then this is so funny that this cabochon is in the box with the gold back. I hope that you are able to see this gorgeous cabochon. This is an 18 by 13 millimeter, and it's a crystal yellow topaz oval domed glass cabochon, and I just absolutely love these. Off camera, and I'm actually preparing a video, but I've been working on like bead embroidery. I've always done silk ribbon embroidery and tassel and tatting, but I'm working on like some bead embroidery designs where I'm actually putting cabochons and chatons on backing, and like sewing them down and using embellishments like cup chain, and it's just so amazing that this was in the box. But I'm just going to show you really quickly, if you're not a person that is interested at all in bead weaving, if you never thread a needle and that is not your forte, you can use these. They're very versatile. You can also take a filigree piece. I do have an assortment. This was just on my work table, but like this one is round and it doesn't look terrible, but in this assortment there are some oblongs and some ovals, and you can simply use some E6000 glue to place a cabochon on a filigree, and then you can use this for bracelets or necklaces or anything that you want. And from here you could also use fine gauge wire and like some Czech glass faceted rounds or seed beads and wire onto the filigree and kind of get almost a bead woven look without needle and thread. So this is absolutely amazing. I was so excited when I saw that in the box this month. And then the next thing on the list is some matte copper rose petals. They're pressed glass. Those are just so sweet. And then we got a larger rose petal in 13 by 14 millimeter. These are crystal iris purple metallic, so they're half and half. They're copper on one side and like this vitriol on the other side. And then I love the Drux in this month's box. Oh my goodness, there's this dark red matte opaque 6 millimeter. There's this copper 6 millimeter. Look at this one, you guys. This is so pretty. This is a gold copper half round Druk. So it's just beautiful, like it's crystal on one side and that coppery color on the other. And I just realized that I skipped literally my favorite bead in the whole box. Look at the Cathedral beads. I'm going to grab all of these. This is going to be the main bead in my set that I'm going to make today. And this mix, when I saw this, it just reminded me of all the leaves and all the fall colors, like all the changing that's happening. So I'm just going to thread them on. It's a color mix of this gorgeous cathedral bead. Cathedral beads are a rather expensive cut to do, and they're it's like faceted around or table. The cuts are table cut, and then there's the stepped cuts at the end, and then this one is gold washed. It is just absolutely the most gorgeous bead. I'm sorry, it's not gold washed, it's bronze washed, so it's a dark gold, but it's a bronze crystal mix, and these are fire polished, and I mean, they are just absolutely gorgeous. I have a separate organizing bin for Cathedral beads. A couple of mine are missing because I am using them in my set of my earrings and in my bracelet. And you know, when beads are that gorgeous and that perfect, your designs can be very simple. You don't have to overthink the work because the bead does all the work for you. So okay, back to the Drux. I can't believe I skipped over that because I was so excited when I saw that. So then we got 6mm crackle glass Drux here. This is a really gorgeous crackle glass. There's some larger ones, some 8mm, so I'll show you those, but there's two different greens. This one is blue green and this one is an olive green, and they have that bronze wash or copper wash on them. They're just gorgeous. And then look at these, aren't they gorgeous? These are the 8mm. There's this yellow crackle, a blue crackle, and a turquoise crackle, and you can see the high quality of this crackle glass, and I just love crackle glass. I mean, it's so dimensional, and when you even just string the colors like that, it looks like candy. They're just so beautiful. And then look at the fluted copper drops. Aren't these gorgeous? I love those. I mean, I have a couple of videos where I showed how to make these heart head pins, but you can even do your own little fancy like spiral head pin, and you can literally, when you have a bead that's this gorgeous, I mean, it's so opaque and so copper saturated, and the fluting is just so lovely and textural, you can take a fancy head pin and a single bead, make your ear wire, and you have a stunning pair of earrings, and it's like one and done. I mean, I just love these, and they make the most gorgeous, not only earrings, but if you need a final drop for an extender chain or anything, they're just absolutely gorgeous, and they feel so good in your hand. And then I have to pick these up because you guys who have been here before, you know that I'm nuts about O beads, and we got dark bronze ones in the box this month, and like these are in the seed bead category, but they are amazing. You get this really thin little profile, so if you're stringing anything, like I use seed beads a lot for spacers, but these are like spacers like none other. They're so cool, and I just love that rich color for autumn jewelry. And then we got these beautiful dark bronze Czech glass cubes. Let me try to get one on my, they're so little, they don't even want to go on my 20 gauge wire. But they're just absolutely wonderful. And when you see what I'm going to do with my beads, like these are perfect to make ring components. They make really gorgeous spacers, this little size being that it's a cube. You just get so much. I mean, I don't know if you're seeing what I see, but there is so much geometry happening in this month's box. This is one of my favorite Czech glass beads, and I don't believe that I have this color. This is an arabesque bead. This is just absolutely gorgeous. This is another one of those beads that you take a piece of wire and do a little, you know, a little decorative head pin and put your bead on, and your jewelry is done. Like, when I say it again, when beads are this gorgeous, you do not have to work too hard on designs. And then I am nuts about these 4mm fire polished matte blue Czech glass rounds. These are going to be used in both of my projects. Look at that. It's such a gorgeous color. It's like an autumnal blue. I just love it. And it's like, again, I'm going to grab one of these Cathedral beads because I just love like this color story with the blues, greens, golds, coppers. There's a little bit of red and pink and a little bit of turquoise. But look at those colors. It's just so gorgeous. So what I'm going to do with these beads, I'll show you. I want to get through showing you what's in the box because I've already done an earring, and I'll kind of show you where how I'm going to use those elements in my bracelet. But next up is this gorgeous Magic Capri Gold half it's half, but it's a faceted fire polish, and it's a 6mm bead. So for me, that 6mm size is just bead perfection. And look at the colors in this. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you could just make a bracelet out of that and layer it all season with anything else that you wanted. And then these are gorgeous. This is a matte crystal blue table cut rectangle bead. So it's just gorgeous. I love these beads because you can kind of see through them, and the profile is so pretty. It's like frosted around the edge. So there are 4 of those. And then one of my guys is missing, but it's not missing. It's already in a design. This is so stunning. This is a crystal blue and copper patina waved window bead, and it's in the shape of a petal. So, you know, it's table cut. So I don't know if you can see, but you get this glassy like slice. It's so smooth and perfect. And again, it's a window bead, so you can see through it a little bit. You can see that core where your wire or your bead stringing material goes through. And look at the profile. Look at the beautiful copper patina. I just absolutely love, love, love that. And then this is the cutest thing. The team at Craftica find the cutest charms and metal additions. This little bee is so cool. He has holes here, so you could do a use him as a connector for like a double strand bracelet, and then he's got a little hole at the top. I'm going to turn him into a charm, and I'm going to do something with these 2 little holes here, and he's going to go in my bracelet with my cathedral beads. And then look at this. I have a love affair for birds and bird cages and bird feeders and bird houses. If you guys have been watching my videos this season, maybe you picked up on that. But this is the cutest little charm, this little antique bronze charm. It's 2-sided. The bird is so detailed. I mean, I just love that. It's a little charm that I haven't seen in my travels. So I just love that. I'll give you a quick peek at the first little design, and then I'm going to clean up and come back, and we got to get to making. But this is my earring, and I mean, I'll put better pictures up at the end, but I'm taking the faceted Czech glass blue beads here and some gold Toho seed beads and making a ring component. I've upped my game because I love these beads so much to gold filled jump rings, and I have one of my cathedral beads hanging, like dangling in the middle of a quick link, and then I used a splayed head pin and one of these window cut table cut beads, and this is just an absolutely stunning earring in these like fall blues and golds and bronzes. So we're gonna make another earring. I'll show you how I put this together, and then with all of these elements I'm gonna do a really pretty bracelet and embellish my bee. So let me clean up a second and I'll be right back. I am using my 2 1/4 millimeter one-step looper, and I am turning every single one of my cathedral beads into a link. And these are going to get connected together. I'm using the larger size one-step looper, and I'm not worrying about tidying up my loops because I'm going to open every single one of them for attaching and then close it again. And so when I'm using my one-step looper to make components, I can get through a beaded chain really quickly because I keep the tool in my hand and I just swing it out of the way, and I'm using 20 gauge wire, and just feed that through the guide hole when the bead is on. And I'll slow down on the next one and show you for newer people, and sometimes on the shape of certain beads. And also, if you don't put your wire against the back plate, it won't close your loop all the way. The one-step looper is kind of quirky in that way, but I love this tool. It saves my hand, and like for simple loops, the purpose of them is that you're going to open and close them. So I put my pliers to all my loops anyway to work harden and just make sure everything is perfectly closed. So if you do not have beads on your wire, you can go just past the back cutter of the tool, and it makes a fresh blunt cut for you. You can watch it make the loop, and then I pull my wire down and smooth it, straighten it, and now I can see that loop is centered on the wire. That one didn't close all the way, but like I said, it's a quirky little tool that happens sometimes, but I'm okay with it because I'm going to open these, connect my bracelet, and close them and work harden them. But then when you go back to put your second loop in, if your wire's long enough, you'll use the guide hole this time. Gently close the tool and watch your bead here. And can you see that the wire is not up to the back plate? If you can get your wire close to that back plate or on it, the tool will generally close the loop a lot better for you. But I pull the component or the bead down as I'm closing here, and that way I can see that I'm centered. If you become misaligned while it's still in the tool, you can use this tool almost like an extra hand, and you can use your pliers to line it up. But I get really pretty little components and very quickly too. So I'm going to finish making my last two, and then I'll show you the ring component. Okay, all my little cathedral beads are done, and I am using for my earring, let me lay this out for inspiration. I am using just some scraps of my Soft Flex 49 strand out of my scrap bag, because these little rings do not take very much very much bead stringing wire, so I can use those. I'm also using some seed beads that are Toho 11-0 galvanized, so when they touch your skin, they won't rub off. Now we'll do the earring together. On this component, I left the seed bead off when I strung in between my bottom two check glass, and then I left the seed bead off there because that's where my crimp tube is. I don't know if you can peek in there and see. And then I also left it off at the top because that's where I attached my earring to my ear wire. So this one is going to be a little bit different stringing than the one I do for connectors in my bracelet. But we'll start with the two. We'll just string this up together. We'll start with two of the check glass rounds, and then I'm going to put a seed bead around a seed bead and around, so it's a total of 6 check glass rounds. And then on this side, the same thing. Whoops, come on, little seed bead. A seed bead around, and a seed bead and around. So it's a little funny looking little stringing pattern because I have no seed bead here. But that's what it looks like for this component. And then I am going to use my Soft Flex number 2 gold filled crimp tubes for crimping this. And I'm only going to feed the crimp tube on one side of my wire, and then I'm going to feed this wire through the crimp tube going in the opposite direction. And I'm going to pull them in the opposite direction. I have a little, this is a scrap, so I have a little kink here, and I want to get away from that kink. So I'm going to just zhuzh this around, and because I cut that off of something, who knows what. But so when I pull in opposite directions, that's the little ring component. And so here is where I did my double jump rings, and here is where I attached my ear wire. And when I pull, it's really nice and tight. And when I come in with my magical crimping plier, it does push the beads out a little bit, but you're going to need that space anyway when you connect this component. So it actually works out. But I'm just going to make sure that my number 2 crimp tube is squarely in the center of my tool. And I give that like a final tug, and then close my tool. And when I take it away, the tube is now a square with 4 little pinched corners. And then I want to fit my tool in the opposite direction and close down again. Each time, make sure that you are squarely in the middle, like your crimp tube is right in the middle. And then when you just open and close and rotate your ring, you get a beautiful little seed bead looking. It's exactly the same size and shape as a Toho seed bead. So it really is magical, and it's really cool in a design. And then I just like get as close as I can to snip my ends. And now this is super easy connecting. I have my ring and my bead and my one little cathedral bead, and I used a splayed head pin for this one, so we can go ahead and put that on. And on this one, I needed to make my simple loop large enough for it to go over my quick link. So I'm just going to come here and bend my wire, and I'll do this simple loop by hand. I'm coming down here like to the middle of my round nose plier because I need that simple loop to be big enough to hang over. So I just bring, I start my simple loops the same way that I do my wrapped loops. Just bring the wire around, and like from here you could wrap, but I'm just going to take that away and come inside right where the two wires meet each other and snip. And then I'm going to open this and add it to my quick link and close it. And those of you that have watched me work before, you know that I'm a bit of a stickler about the way that my loops are open and closed. Not only do I want them closed really well, but I want the opening of my simple loop to be going toward the back of my earring. So my links here kind of do have a front and a back. So when you look at my earring, it's seamless because I have connected so that my my opening of my simple loop is going to be toward the back of the earring. Okay, and then the next thing is 2 of these gold filled jump rings. Like I said, I love the beads so much in this box that I decided to up my game to gold filled findings. These are not gold filled, but these will get my anti-tarnish. My Permalac coating will get brushed on those and on my little splayed head pin. So my whole earring will be anti-tarnish and will last for a really long time. So the next thing I'm going to do is add my 2 jump rings. So my ear wire goes over the space here that has no seed bead, and my double jump rings go over where I crimped. So I'm going to add 1 jump ring and then add my quick link. These are like the best quality jump rings. They close perfectly. And I'm going to add the second one right beside that one. So we're looking like that. And then next I'm going to take my ear wire and open that and fit that ear wire right in between the 2 fire polish where there was no seed bead. So now you can kind of see why when the magical crimping plier pushes the beads out a little bit and it appears to be unwanted space, but when you start using these are connectors, these rings, so when you start using the connectors, using them as connectors, that space is really perfect for getting things in there. And then I'm going to take a really short little, I think it's an inch ball head pin, just feed that on, and then I'm going to do the same thing, make a simple loop here, but I need this simple loop to be large enough to fit over my double jump rings, and that makes that cathedral bead just hang right in the middle of the link. So on this one I did my wrap right about there. I'll just wrap it over the top, rotate my plier and bring that around and get that loop really centered on my bead and get it really nice and round and pretty. And then I'm going to do the same thing, come right here where the 2 wires meet and snip. And now I'm going to open this and corral both of these gold-filled jump rings in that simple loop and close it really well. Work harden, and that earring is done. These are so stunning. Oh my goodness. This is the kind of earring that I will reach for all the time. And you know, if you wear a denim jacket in the fall, if you wear jeans or anything like that, that is just so perfect. Okay, I don't know if you noticed my two tiny little flat back crystals here, but since I am not going to use my B as a connector, I would love to have another one of these to play with, because this would be so cool to do your, I have more scraps of my bead stringing wire, but to string him this way with, you know, 2 rows of beads coming off of his wing. But I want to use him as a charm for my bracelet. So I'm going to take some gel Loctite super glue, and it literally takes 1 dot. You could also use E6000 glue here, but I'm going to just kind of put a dot of glue right on the hole, and I'm just going to use my pliers to set this crystal and just cover up that hole. I need to put it on my mat to be able to pick it up. I'm just making sure the hole is covered and that my crystal is not over the edge of his wing. And I'm going to do this side, and then I'm going to set him aside to dry while I finish building my bracelet. He looks great, and I love the E6000 glue, and I love this gel super glue, because you don't have glue running all over your fingers and all over your mat, and you have a little bit of time to organize yourself and really place things perfectly with those glues. Okay, so my bracelet needs a couple of components. So I'm going to take another scrap of my Softflex 49 strand. On this one, I'm only going to leave 1 seed bead off. So I have my 11/0 in between every one except the last one, because as you saw in the earring ring component, the crimp tube takes the place of that seed bead. Come on out, little guys. I am going to make a few, I think. I'm going to get this one done. So it's the same thing. I'm going to feed my crimp tube on one wire and then feed the other wire through in the opposite direction. I love making these components. This is one of my go-to jewelry making techniques. It's so effective and it's so simple, and it gives you a beaded look. It gives you a little bit more involved look than what it actually is. So same thing, I'm going to fit my magical crimping plier in here where that tube is squarely in the middle. Give it a final tug and close the tool. And then you can see my little square, and then I'm going to go in the opposite direction and close again. And just go around a few times, opening and closing, allowing the tool to form the tube into, it looks like an 11/0 seed bead. It really tricks the eye. It's the same size and shape, and it just, non-jewelry maker has absolutely no idea where this ring starts and stops or what's holding it together. I love this. To me, this is like a secret weapon in my jewelry designs. So there's my first little ring, and I'm just going to play with connecting my, how I want to connect my cathedral components. Okay, so I'm going to open one of my loops and attach it over the, I'm going to attach that loop over where I crimped and close it really well and work harden it. And then I'm going to come to this side and close this one really well and work harden it. And I think what I'm going to do is see what I need to do to get my length, but I think I'm going to go for attaching two cathedral components in between each ring. And I'm guessing that I'll need to make 2 more rings to get my bracelet length just right. But let me go ahead and attach my cathedral components to each side of this so I can show you. Like I said, you don't have to have a lot of bead caps or metal spacers or like really amazing designs when your beads are this pretty. So the reason for the even number as well is I'm going to come, since I'm making a connector, I'm going to come right over the, so there are 3 Czech glass beads on either side of my cathedral beads. And work hard in that loop. And I'm going to go for a gold one here, I think. Just mixing up my colors a little bit. I love this color mix of cathedral beads. And work hard in that loop. And so that's the start of my bracelet. I mean, I just love this. So I need to make 2 more rings. So I have some more scraps of my soft flex wire over here. And I'm going to get 2 more rings done. So the way my bracelet length finished out, I've got my length just right. And the way it finished out is that I'll have 3 cathedral beads on one end. So my rings are kind of in the center, and then I'll have 2 cathedral beads on this end. And I have these amazing button-shaped magnetic closures. I'll show you, let me open this and I'll show you how cool I'm only going to use the magnetic part, so I have this really pretty little lobster claw and connector end. But these are so great for bracelets because, let me get my other pliers in here and separate it, because they have a little channel inside as well as the magnet. So when you get your magnet in that channel, if you pull this way, it's not going to come apart very easily if you pull like that way, as long as you have your channel lined up. So I love these, and I got double, you kind of get double closures for bracelets and necklaces, because I'm going to open this jump ring and remove the little tab with the opening and the lobster end. Look how gorgeous this bracelet is. I love this. Oh wow. And I love these little magnetic clasps. It looks like a little kind of a gold button, and they're quite strong, but they really, I've never had my bracelets come apart when I use one of these, because of the way they have the little channel inside for it to grab. But look how gorgeous this bracelet is. It's like all the colors of autumn with the leaves changing, but honestly, I see this in every season. And I also see this layering with a lot of things. So I did have some of my pretty beads left over, and 1 cathedral bead. And I'm going to take another one of these gold filled jump rings and attach my little bee. But before I do that, he is going to get a coat of my Permalac coating, and I'll go ahead and do my earrings as well while I have it out. And I also am going to do, these are gold plated, but I really don't want them to tarnish, and I want to protect the plating. So I'm going to lay everything in this little plastic dish and give it a coat. And so what I'll say about my Permalac coating is that I am using the semi-gloss. It is also available in matte, but if you want to be able to brush it over things that sparkle, like these crystals that I glued on my bee, the semi-gloss will not cloud or dull the sparkle on crystals and rhinestones and things like that. So I like the semi-gloss most of the time. I mean, matte definitely has its place, but I'm just going to brush it over. My wire is all anti-tarnish, so my wire does not need it. Just going to give everything a really nice coat. You don't need to do 2 coats. And on my earrings, my quick links need to be done, as well as my head pins. They are just gold plated. I love my gold plated ear wire assortment. I think I've been linking that for you guys under my current favorite findings. When I edit the video, I'll check, but there's 3 or 4 different shapes of gold plated ear wires, and some longer, some a little bit shorter, and I just love them. I love the high quality of them, but I want to protect that plating, so I just take a second, and I used to go out in my hot garage with newspaper and a can of Krylon spray, trying to only spray my metal findings and not get the spray on my beads and things. And when I discovered this product, it works amazing. There's another one that I've tried called Eternal or something like that, and it just didn't work. I guess it worked. It took a really long time to dry, but this product dries super fast, and I just sit and take like 3-4 minutes at the end of one of my designs and brush it on anything that will tarnish. And if you sell your jewelry on a website, or even at a craft fair, having an anti-tarnish coating on your pieces really sets your work apart from other designers. It's only been about 3 minutes, and my little bee, he's a teeny tiny bit sticky, but he's mostly dry. And I brushed my Permalac over those flat back crystals, and can you see how they just sparkle? I mean, I just brushed the entire thing, and you cannot see it like on the gold plating. You cannot see it. So I'm going to take one of these gold filled jump rings, and I'm going to add my bee to the side of my bracelet where I ended up with the 3 cathedral beads. I'm going to come over the whole circumference. I never open my jump rings wide enough. I'm going to come over the whole circumference of this component, like not let my jump ring go through the loop, but around it. And then I'm going to add my bee. And if you have never seen my little connecting trick, I'll show you what that does. Let me close this. And so what that does is, no matter which way I pick my bracelet up to put it on, my bead goes around 360 degrees. And since it's a magnetic clasp, it's going to find itself. And so that way my little charm will always land, just in the right, just like that, just in the right spot, like whichever direction I put my bracelet on. But I absolutely love this. I love these earrings. Let's see if they're dry. Yeah, they're pretty dry. Like, it's only been a few minutes, and the Permalac dries really, really fast, and it really adds quality and longevity when you make something. I'm in Florida. I'm in a very humid climate, so a lot of times even jewelry that's not coated, sitting in the air conditioning, turns dark, even if it hasn't been on your skin. So I love that coating. And I always list it in my description box, in my favorite things under every video. I don't think I would layer this with this bracelet that I just recently made, but I just love this. This is my scale of jewelry, and I love that it features the high quality of these cathedral beads and the Czech glass beads, and it's just perfect for going into this season. So I will put links in the description box to the Craftica company. This is one of the 2 boxes that they offer. This one is Czech Beads exclusive. It is, as you saw, a fabulous curated sampler. If you love to make earrings, this is such a great box for that. You can do oodles and oodles of earrings from every box. You have some focal beads, a little bit larger beads, a lot of smaller beads, and the ring components that I like to make are a great way to add a little bit more statement with the smaller beads that you get. I absolutely love this box. The quality is amazing. You know, Czech beads directly from the Czech Republic. You cannot get any better than that. So I thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, because the Craftica company, the team over there, does another box that I am about to start videotaping that project as well. That one is called Bohem Style, and it comes with 2 projects every month. All the ingredients that you need. It's actually a DIY kit, and it's so cool. So subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that video either. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.